Uh, what's going on, guys? What's up? Happy Wednesday, Thursday. Happy Thursday. It is football season. Thursday football is back, baby. And I am excited. Excited for the game tonight. I hope you guys are all doing well. Welcome to the Verified AMA. I'm your host, Lawton Ho. Here with Verified Investing, and I go live every single day the markets are open from 12:30 to 1:15 to answer your questions. While you're here, I just want to say a big thank you. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for watching. And thank you so much for participating. If you like this type of content and want to help support us, me, Verified Investing, everyone, go ahead and consider subscribing to us on the Verified Investing YouTube channel, giving us a like, sharing this with your friends, your mom, your cat, your dog, anyone who will listen. But yeah, the way this works is you guys ask questions and I give answers. You can ask me questions by scanning this QR code down below. I'm trying to get to it. This QR code down below. Or visiting the verifiedinvesting.com website and telling me your question. With that being said, what's going on today, guys? How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing today? What questions do you guys have for me today? All right. Oracle's fallen pretty decently, opened up significantly higher. Had a big fall, about a 6% fall. Big fall. Nathan, everyone's asking me about SOXS. Yep, the SMH is up. SMH is up 1%. Why is it up? Because MU is up, was up over 10%. Just off of an analyst upgrade. MU pushes higher, tries to reach those double tops, all-time highs, 157. That's the line in the sand for MU. That's why SOXS is down today. Currently down at $6.34. Got as low as $6.25. Had a decent bounce off of that level. But only down 2%. That's actually not too bad. But how low could the Nathan says, what does the semi market look like now? Is it pulling out of its bearish trend or just a momentary blip? Yeah, again, the SMH, if we look at this, that tracks made new all-time highs today. SOXX also made new highs, but this could be a nice little topping tail depending on where it closes today. It could mark the top of it. It's just, again, because of MU pushed up, and because MU pushed up towards its previous all-time highs, that's what's causing the markets to be green. Despite that, AMD down a bit. Let's take a look at some other semis. TXN is flat. NVIDIA should be up. It's flat, actually. So not telling semiconductors are down. Yeah, all of the semiconductors are flat or down except for MU. So really, this is just a momentary blip, in my opinion. It's just a one pop off of analyst upgrade, which really shouldn't be anything. So, yeah, I think it's still bearish. Christopher says, hi, Lon. I'm short Hood. Okay, with an average of 114. I'm comfortable with adding 3 more times to the position if it keeps going up. Is there a resistance level you can find? I'm contemplating if I should add now or wait until Powell cuts rates because I can see it possibly popping more the day he cuts. Yeah, I agree with that. He's going to cut rates, right? But I think it's going to be a sell the news event. Let's see if we can find a level of resistance for you. on Hood, right? This is the line in the sand right now for me. Why'd I click that button? Why'd I do that? Let's go here. See this here? About 7 to 8% higher. This is where I would probably add. I mean, your average is 114, so you're out of the money 5%. Up here, you'd be out of the money 13, 14%. That's where I would likely look for an entry into Hood. Okay, John says, how low can SOX go and what happens? SOX will always over time sort of degrade over time, but it will never go to zero. Worst case scenario, it reverse stock splits. Okay, it'll reverse stock split. But it will never go to zero. Wes says CL, Colgate, dividend stock. Okay, you've piqued my interest. Nearing support line going back from 2017, forming a bull flag. Let's see it. Yeah, look at all this sideways consolidation action here. Kind of coming into like this kind of down sloping trend line that it kind of wants to break up and above. So it's nice. Let's see a couple trend lines from here. Your trend line from 2017. Let's see if I can find that. Having trouble locating your 2017 trend line. You want to share that with me? You did share that with me. Let's see. On Colgate, but I'm always taking suggestions. You know, there's a couple dividend paying stocks that I had previously purchased. All right, I like that. I like that trend line as well, but the only thing is you're basically just making this trend line now, right? It only has one hit. Let's see if that hit can hold, right? Or else a break of this trend line is basically just like a break of this pivot. Same thing. So I don't know if it's going to be that strong because it hasn't proven to be like strong level of support yet. But yeah, I do like this stock. I will consider it for my dividend trader service. Thank you for the suggestion, Wes. HRL as well. Okay. Thinking about entering, pays a dividend, nearing a support line, fell off of earnings. Yes. For potential bull flag. Yep. You like to see the sub move sideways, downwards consolidation. I like it as well. Let me take a look and see the historical data to see how low we really are on the charts. All right. Let's find some buy levels, huh? Shall we? All right, 23, 22. These are a couple levels that I anticipate a bounce on HRL, Hormel Foods. Not too familiar with this company, but if it came down here, I'm actually going to set an alert. I might enter in, consider buying in at 22.50. I would really like to enter there. Again, it's 10% lower, but if it came down there, I'd be a buyer there. But even if you enter now, if you played with the stop, it wouldn't be bad. Mar says, "Hey Lawton, buy the dip?" Question mark. What do you mean by that? By the dip? By the dip? If you want to, you can do whatever you want. Saturating Diary says, hey, Lawton, what's up, brother? Can you check the inverse head and shoulders on grab? Let's see. Okay. I see it. Absolutely see it. You can draw it like this or like this. Nah, we'll draw it here. I mean, you could draw like this. The shoulders, I don't like that shoulder. Nah, I don't want to do that. Draw like this. See that measured move? It is valid, though. Technically valid. See, this measured move is a move of 40%. So, yeah, that's nice. Let's see, find a level of resistance. Let's see, I like this pivot high here. Again, whenever I look for a measured move, there's a couple things I'm targeting. Let's see how much of a move this is, 5%. Not enough for me. I'm looking for, generally a move up at least 50% of the measured move. So we have the measured move there, right? And let's see where 50% is. So anywhere above $6, you're targeting basically an exit at $6 or more. So that's what I'd be doing on grab. So I do see that inverse head and shoulders pattern. I like it. And that's where I'm at. Chris says, hey, Lon, how are you today, buddy? I'm not too bad. How are you doing? Can you please talk a little about AG Silver? Yeah, I can chart it for you. AG Silver, let's go to the daily. Let's reset this chart. Wow, pushing up decently, pushing towards new highs. I'll give you the levels of resistance that I see on the stock. First level, very obvious, is going to be over here. Gap fill, pivot high. So these are the levels of resistance. 8%, 16, 39, 47% higher. Something you do have to be wary of, though, is there is a really quite nice kind of upsloping trend line that you are potentially, right? Let's see. We'll do this. You have this nice trend line, down the upsloping trend line, which favors a break to the bottom. You have a hit here, hit here, hit here. These are the levels that you're expecting a pullback on AG, Majestic Silver Company. But these are the levels to the upside that I anticipate resistance on it. 7% higher, 17% higher, and then 40% higher on AG. Constantine says, hey, Lon, could you recommend a broker for stocks with a maintenance margin less than 75%? I don't really often kind of suggest brokerages, just because that's like a really important decision to make. My suggestion would be to do your own research and find a brokerage that works best with your goals, right? With what you need to do. But yeah. I use Thinkorswim though. And Gareth and Ben use Interactive Brokers. You're welcome, Chris. Mar says all new highs. What now? Party? Yeah, we are at all new time highs. We've been there for a while. Still believe a correction is coming, but this is why it's so difficult to like short things at all-time highs, because you're like, you don't know when things are going to pull back, right? You know that it favors a pullback 100%, but now the only question is when, right? What is it going to take for this market to really roll over, right? Like, what is it going to take? But my next level of resistance is about 690 to 700 on the S&P. Faisal says, "Hi there, what's up? Where do you think Oracle will have some resistance and fall?" I'm assuming you're saying that. So if Oracle already fell, right? My level of resistance was at the 348 level. 348 level got close, but it's just starting to fall. It went up off of earnings and guidance. I think, quite frankly, it's too high of a move. It went up way too much. But yeah, I think Oracle is due for a pullback. I mean, my support is at 340. Resistance is at 348. Sorry, 348. Where will it fall to? You want all my support levels. Double top, previous all-time high here, 261. Gap fill here. Those are my levels for Oracle. I don't have any other levels on Oracle. Katsuhide says, "Hi, Lon. Where do you think Oracle will drop by Friday? Or is it done getting down by Friday?" Yeah, you guys love asking about Oracle, huh? Yeah, it's hard for me to give you like an exact where exactly it's going to fall to. It's hard for me to tell you that, and by what time, right? I don't know, but it wouldn't surprise me if Oracle was sub 300 by tomorrow. But who knows? Tomorrow could be like a float up type of day. So, Elvis says, "Hi, Lon. What are your thoughts on the VXS? Bullish on it. Bullish, bullish, bullish. Buying the VXX all day. Bullish on it." Cool Buddy says, "Hey, Lawton. I wanted to ask. I'm thinking about entering TTD. At the bottom level, how would you suggest I go about the trade plan? What should be my levels? When does the setup get invalidated? Do you have a better level to enter?" Yeah, my level to enter is $43. I think that's where your level is, $43. That's where I would 100% enter. Love to enter the trade desk TTD. And I would just keep adding, to be honest. This level, in my opinion, is really, really great on TTD. My level to add, so let's say it's at 43, is, let's go here. 2022 lows, and then another gap fill. These are my levels kind of to add. On TTD, maybe I enter at 43 and add at 39 or so. Keep adding down. Faisal says support on Oracle. I already gave that. Sarah says, "How are you doing, Lon? SOXS is going to double top." Going to double top or 261? This is 267, you mean? Before gap before gap filling 195. Let's see how far away those are. From all-time highs on SOX, we're about 5% away. Gap fill at 195. We're pretty far, about 23% away. I think it's more likely to go to that double top before pulling back. When is a good price to buy? I'm already in. I'm a buyer. I'm currently holding SOX right now. I'm currently in a position. I'm literally in a day trade right now holding SOX. Let me see your chart. Yeah, I'm currently in a day trade position. And my average is $6.34 right now. And it's not doing anything. But I'm in it right now. Whoever says low Elon Dolphins, hope the Dolphins don't stink. How low can ABS go? Inverse ABGO. Dolphins are trash. They're disgusting. Tua Tagovailoa has irreversible brain damage. He should not be touching a football. We lost to the Colts. We lost to Danny Dimes, Daniel Jones. They dunked on our heads. I'm not interested. Done with the Fins. I'm done. Inverse ABS. So ABS, I'm not looking at that. I'll look at ABGO though. So if you want to know how high could AVGO, basically Broadcom, go for the, let's see. I don't have a lot of levels, to be honest. This is the level I'm watching, this kind of upsloping trend line on AVGO. Anticipating a pullback to around 306-ish. Mark says, do you think we see a pullback in GDX? I mean, I would say yes. I mean, I think we're going to get a pullback, but the question is when. Here's the only problem that I have that I'm worried about gold. Markets are up. Gold is up as well, right? That makes me nervous because you expect the markets to fall, right? But what happens when the markets fall? Well, when the markets fall, usually gold, people start to rotate capital potentially into gold, right? So that's where my concern is. That's my concern. I'm worried that gold will not fall when the stock market falls. But when the stock market, since GDX is tracking the miners, it's a little different. There's still companies with earnings and everything. It's not the same thing as trading physical gold. So, but it's going to move based on the price of gold. Christopher says, why is Hood at such a high price when all it is a brokerage? Are they doing something different than the other brokerages? They're offering like tokenized stocks to like Europe. So like using crypto to try and they can like trade some stocks or whatever there. Yep. But yeah, I agree. It is quite overvalued at this point in time. Patel says, could you please provide swing levels for Netflix? Sure. Be happy to. So for me on Netflix, this is my current chart. You can see I had this head and shoulders. It did kind of play out. Played out decently. Fell here down about 8%. For me, I'm watching this upsloping trend line. If you do see a break of this, you can either enter here on a break or a retrace. My target for Netflix is currently a move down to around $1,100. I already did answer your question, or Constantine. Yeah, guys. When I answer your questions, I have so many questions, so don't get offended if I don't answer your question immediately. I'm usually like 15 minutes behind. Like I'll answer the questions in the order that they're asked. So the questions I'm answering are usually questions that have been asked 15 or so minutes ago. Brady says, do you use trailing stop losses once your price target has been reached? Sometimes, but generally no. Generally, I'll just leave it. I just take profits at my target, but generally not. Derek says we need to give the genie a little belly rub. I know. I need to get my fortune telling skills up. I have this bottle of water. Kind of interesting. And this is a pretty big sell on Netflix, about 3% down. But we're drinking bottled water because in my office, we're supposed to have jugs of water and a little water machine. Out of water. So there's like 50 million jugs. And I was carrying these 3 super heavy monitors to the storage room just to kind of just to move them out of the way. And I had to walk past the tower of these jugs. It's literally a tower. So I was like Donkey Kong, kicking them over, watching them fall. But anyways, you guys didn't ask for that. But that's why I'm drinking out of a water bottle today. Faisal says, do you think GE is due for a strong pullback? I do think GE is due for a pullback. How strong? That's a good question. You saw this trend line was good resistance, or a good level to break down before it cleared it. Now is a retrace, continuing back up. My line in the sand is double top 289. That's where I would short GE Aerospace. So approximately 2% higher. But I do think it's due for pullback because it's so overextended. Like since the Liberation Day lows, it's gone up basically vertical about 80%. Right? So that's why I think it's going to pull back. The question is where. Now, if I told you where it's going to pull back and how much, and I knew all of that information, I wouldn't be here right now. I can only tell you that probabilities dictate that it does have a fall. And my guess is it would fall somewhere between 10 to 12%. That would be my target for it for fall on G. Mars says I can't find any future levels on Solana. Can you give any? Where do you expect to pull back? So look at this. I said Solana is breaking up and out of this wedge. You can enter on the break or a retrace to it. If you're asking me where I would short Solana, maybe 9% higher, around 245. And you also have this level here. Look at how much price action is occurring all around here, all around the 255, 245, 255, about $20 and $30 higher. These are the levels that I anticipate some resistance on Solana. But again, guys, we're trading in this nice wedge, and now we're trying to break out. We're trying to break up and out. If this comes up here, I would short it. But yeah, nice move on Solana today and on a lot of different cryptos today. XRP, Ethereum, Bitcoin is slightly up. Keaton says, "Hi Lon, what is the upside potential for Baba on open?" Baba, absolutely monster. Alibaba, pushing up like a beast. My level of resistance, first level of resistance, you have a nice gap fill here. This is where I'd short it, probably for a day trade. I still think the Chinese stocks are oversold, so I'd be hesitant to enter that. But then the 182 level I like a lot more. 182 is where I potentially enter a swing short. But day trade 161, 16, 17% higher around 182 would be my level for a swing trade short. As far as open doors trading like a meme stock, right? Had this nice bull flag and then boom, shot up or down sloping parallel channel, broke up and out of this down sloping trend line, like an absolute monster, absolute beast. Where am I going to short open door? It's up 58%. That's a great question. Maybe up here, maybe you look 23% higher, around $11.35. You can consider starting a position. But this is not something I really want to touch, to be honest. Not very interesting. Jason says, "Lucky Lawton. The law brings a ton." Thanks so much for the intro. Solana, which is, where's your resistance open? Yep. Short take profit. I picked the entry 225, 29.32, stop 236. Okay. What do you think, you Luxter? 211. Well, here's the thing with Solana is that, again, guys, it's breaking this wedge pattern, and those can be very, very powerful moves. Now, it could be a fake out. We did retrace to this trend line, so it has not confirmed yet. We want to see some confirmation. So if Solana confirms to the upside, then it could go higher. But if it fails to, and especially if it comes back down below, I believe that your level should play out quickly. I'm just a little more conservative. Whenever I see wedge breakouts, I don't like to touch things. I'm like, okay, well, you're breaking out of this strong pattern, so I'm not really interested in shorting you. So, like, when it's breaking out of a nice pattern like that, you have two things that could happen. You can make money because it's a bull trap and then a fall, or it continues higher, and then you got to find a higher level to short. But then you're sad. But yeah, thanks for your question, Jason. Hope you're doing well. Becky says, "What's a good entry price to the VXX? Where will it hit resistance or even support?" Yeah, so it's hard. This is based on the volatility index, right? So I would say even now is a great potential time to get into the VXX. But if you wanted to be conservative, you could wait probably around 6% lower, 5 to 6% lower, maybe around $32 if you want to be conservative. But that's where I see it for as a potential hold. Beat says, "What is your take on Wolf WLF right now coming out of bankruptcy?" Yeah, so their Chapter 11 reorganization plan is out. I'm not sure if their stock ticker is going to stay the same, but this is hard for me to trade, right? I know this is something that Drew Dosick trades in his small cap, right? It's such a small company. I mean, it is a popular name. Let me see if he's still in that position. Yeah, he's still in this. So he's currently long Wolf, WLOLF. So if that tells you anything, you know. Jaime says, "Is Hood at a shortable level here?" Yeah, I mean, for me, my shortable level again would be this trend line, but it's 7% high. You could always enter a short here, add to your position around 132, whatever, 9-10% higher, and then look for a pullback down to around $100. Right, that's something you could look for on Hood. That's what I would do. If I wanted to, I would have an add there or a stop at level around 132. And I have a target around 101. Tesla's up about 4% today. Okay. Is the $367 resistance level still in play? Absolutely. I still like that level. If it came up there today, I'd probably short it. But yeah, I still like that level. And if it goes higher, you could, I mean, look at this. This line, this 367 level is so powerful. You saw this is the highest it got here, highest it got here. So, third hit, you're expecting a pullback on the third hit. But the more times you hammer on a level, the more likely it is to push above. And I just stared straight into the light, so I'm blind, open. Good question, Nathan. Chris says open has been gone up like crazy in the past couple months. Yeah, since July. Yep. What are your thoughts? Keep going up or sharp pullback? This is trading like a meme stock. This is not something that I can really touch, to be honest. I don't have good, like, great data. 11.35 though is where I anticipate a pullback. $11.35. And I'm going to be live for the next 9 minutes, guys. So if you have any additional questions, feel free to put them in. Thoughts on Netflix pullback today? Yeah, you have this beautiful upsloping trend line that it might be hammering on. If you can break that level, I anticipate a further pullback down to around $1,100. I like it though. Netflix came down, started consolidating up sideways, and now is having another leg down. So it wouldn't surprise me if we got down to $1,100. Let's check on our good friend SOX. Is it doing anything? No, look at this chop. Absolute sleeper. Absolute boring. This chop is killing me. It's not being kind to me. I mean, my average is $6.34 right now in this day trade, and it's not doing anything. I literally have nothing. It's not coming low enough for me to add, not going high enough for me to take profits. So if it goes up a little higher, I might just exit my position. Justin says thoughts on cat. I'm in a put position, sure. So for me and Caterpillar, these are the levels that I have. For resistance, 441, that double top up there. I have this nice trend line. Take a look. Check out this trend line, guys. Pretty exciting. From these August 6, 2021, through here, the highs of April of last year, through the highs of November of this year. You have a beautiful kind of trend line going up. I mean, to hit that, you'd have to go 8% higher, but that's not too much further up, right? 8% is not really anything, especially considering it's moved over 2% today. Pulled back a little since then, but up around 2%. For me, my first level of resistance, again, is the previous all-time high up here on 441, and then 10-ish% higher on 468. 470. My target to the downside would first be this gap fill around 8% lower. You have a secondary gap fill down here around $366, around 14.6% lower from the current price. Right. So that's what I'm looking on Caterpillar. Right, depending on where your average and your strike price is. Like being in a put position, this may not be bad. You just want to make sure that you have enough time to see your contract play out. Right. What other questions you guys have today, guys? 5 more minutes. I have time for like 1 or 2 more questions. Thank you so much as always for being here, guys. It would really help us if you subscribed to us and followed us on socials. So thank you so much for being here. Scan that QR code, send in your questions. See what SOX is doing. Nothing. It's just a really sleepy day, guys. The markets aren't really doing too much. But look at this. SNPS. Synopsis had poor earnings, fell on earnings, boom, 35% down, opened higher 7%, and even pushed an additional 4% higher from yesterday's close. At its peak, it was up over 12% from its highs. Absolutely incredible for SNPS. Other stocks that have good news, look at STLA. STLA is up, Stellantis over Ram trucks for launch and Jeep Cherokee for revenue boost. Yeah, I'm not sure what all of that means, but it's up 9% today. I was long this position. I'm still long in this position, but I love it. Beautiful move up on Stellantis. So let's see if it can go up another. The first hurdle is going to be here around $10.21, about 7% higher, 70 cents higher. The next hurdle, you're going to have a nice gap fill over here around $10.35, about 9% higher from its current level. And finally, you have a level up here around 15% higher, around $11 for some resistance on Stellantis. But all of these companies, particular, Stellantis is a good company. It's a dividend paying stock. So for you, Wes, when you're giving me stocks to take a look at earlier, I really appreciate you giving me dividend paying stocks that I can potentially consider adding to my service. If you guys don't know, I'm part of Smart Money Stocks and ETFs. So I give swing trades there. And I only go long. I only buy. I don't short anything. So I only go long, and I'm only buying good companies that pay dividends. So we're in that. So the other ones, again, I know you suggested HRL could be potentially giving a good level for potential entry. So let me just add this again, and maybe I'll get in next time. And the other one you had given us is Colgate. I haven't used their toothpaste in a while, but I mean, $67 billion company, they got to be doing something right. For me, let me find a good entry point actually on this that I can enter in here. Kind of snipe an entry into Colgate here. The other one that I'm in is KDP. This is Keurig Dr. Pepper. But I'm going to end it here, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Please consider liking and subscribing. Go tell your friends. Go tell your family. Go tell your pets, your dogs, anyone you can think of. I appreciate you guys spending your lunch break on a sleepy Thursday like here. I mean, there's no place I would rather be than here with you guys. So I appreciate you taking the time to ask me questions and get some insight from me. Again, guys, my name is Lawton Ho here with Verified Investing, and I go live every single day that the markets are open from 12:30 to 1:15. So I really appreciate all of you guys being here, whether you ask questions or you're just a lurker or you're watching this after. I really appreciate it. Okay, guys, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. I will be back here tomorrow, same time, same place, to 1:15 to 2:30 to 12:30 to 1:15 tomorrow. Thanks for being here, Brewski. Cheers. Have a great day, guys. Take it easy, and I'll throw it to Kinesis. Bye, guys. Hey guys, Lawton here with Verified Investing, back with another video for Kinesis. Thank you so much to Kinesis for sponsoring this video. So going on to the homepage, you can see that I'm logged in to Kinesis.money, and I want to highlight something I really think is cool. You guys know that I'm a trader, a pro trader here at Verified Investing. And did you know Kinesis gives you another way to trade? That's right. You're able to directly trade on the Kinesis platform and earn physical gold and silver while doing so. You can see here their trading platform and their charting platform is actually integrated with TradingView. That means the same charts that I'm used to using, that Gareth is used to using, that all of us here at Verified Investing are totally accessible for you to use. So this is a seamless transition if you want to chart on here. You can even see the order books and the history, right? So if I want to put in a trade, I can put in the price in USD or the amount in KAU as one of their pairings. I can set a limit order, stop limit, trailing stop, whatever I want here, and I can do good till cancel or fill or kill or whatever else I need. Additionally, I can see all of my orders down here. Going on the left side, I can see all the different pairings that Kinesis has on their exchange, such as Bitcoin and Ethereum. Really, really cool. So not only is it a platform that lets you earn money and earn physical gold for doing anything, if you're trading cryptocurrency anyways, Kinesis could be an option for you as well. Kinesis is really cool, and there's way too much just to talk about in one video. But if you want to learn more about Kinesis, go ahead and check them out in the link in the description. Thank you so much to Kinesis for sponsoring this video. I'll see you guys next time.